I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, no, no.
Hello. I am happy. I've never been happy before. I do get happy sometimes. Not very often, but I do get happy. Anyway, let me move the camera. Sorry. There we go. A bit better, because then I can get a little bit more forward. There we go. Oh dear. So, no, I don't bother celebrating my birthday, but every now and then I think, oh, I'll buy myself a little gift, and I call it whatever. Call it a birthday gift or whatever. So this gift that I've bought wasn't for my birthday, it just came about. Now I must tell you, and I've mentioned this on this video, on this channel, I'm all a diver, I tell you, all a bloody diver. So I've been searching for 30 odd years, more than 30 years, for a CD by a band called The Opposition, and it's called Intimacy. Now I mentioned it about probably a year ago was the last time I mentioned it, and my beautiful glorious friend, thank you very much Marion, she did me a copy, and it's lovely, it's great. It wasn't a shop bought CD, which is what I wanted, with all the photographs, the lyrics, the whole thing, you know. But I was so grateful for it, and I still am. I must have played it 100 or more times. I love that album, absolutely love the album. It's probably my favourite album. I say probably because I go in waves, same as everybody else, up and down, up and down. I've got 4 or 5 albums that I absolutely love to bits, and they just change. They don't really change position because I'm not into that, but you know, sometimes I listen to an album, one of my 4, 5, 6 albums that I'm really, really connected to, and I think, God, this blows me away, and then I can't stop playing it. Anyway, that is The Opposition, Intimacy. That is one of those albums, and it's probably, mostly, it's my favourite ever album, I would say, mostly. So The Opposition, they formed in 1979 from the edges of punk, really. They were known as kind of post-punk, or a better sort of terminology for it was cold wave music. And when you listen, I mean, they're not for everybody, and I do know a lot of my friends at the time, they didn't like them. I loved them, but my friends didn't like them. But when you listen to the music, it's very cold, very stark, very powerful, but there's a beauty interwoven somewhere. The lyrics are just wonderful. It's sometimes the guitars are sort of played just off key, the vocals sometimes are sung just off key, and it's perfect. I mean, I'm not selling that, am I? But it's beautiful. For me anyway, it's beautiful. Anyway, over the years, they did about, I think, 8 or 9 studio albums, we'll say something like that. And just every now and then, when I get an hour, when I fancy it, I do a bit of a search for the album called Intimacy by the band The Opposition. And I go to all the regular haunts, as you can imagine, starting at all the usual HMV and Music Magpie, and then going into the more, not highbrow, but the more salubrious places like the Record Collector and Music Archive and Hard to Get, and places like that. And I could never get a copy, never, There was one that came up a few years ago, and it was silly money. It was £101, because people know you can't get it. £101. I'm not going to pay £101. It's 10 tracks, 40 minutes. I'm not paying £100 for that, am I? as much as I would love it, and I would play it and play it and play it, and probably it's worth £100 to me, probably. But I wouldn't pay it. I wouldn't pay it on principle. I'd rather just go without. So that's what I did. I went without. The Opposition released 2 box sets. I can't remember the titles of them now. Anyway, whatever. And it was 1 and 2. And on one of the CDs, you got half of Intimacy. Half the tracks were 5 tracks. And then about a year later, they released box set 2, and on one of the CDs, you got the other half, 5 or whatever it was to 10. And I thought then about buying them, and I thought, well, I don't know, anyway, I'll have a look. And again, very, very expensive. They were very short in numbers, I must admit, so they sold out very, very quickly, and that's why the numbers probably went up. To a figure that I couldn't afford. I just couldn't afford to buy them. I don't know whether I would or not, even if I had the money in the bank. It was just too much. And also, it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't the album. It wasn't Intimacy, was it? In fact, it was not intimate by splitting the album and saying, there you go, and there you go, I wanted Intimacy. I wanted the album. Anyway, cut a long story short, I've looked and looked and looked, and then new things come about, don't they? Years ago, there was a file transfer sharing thing called Pirate Bay, and I got a copy from there and downloaded it, and it was very muddy, and that's not Cold Wave. Is very stark, it's cold. It's literally ding like that. Whereas you play the same through Pirate Bay, and this ding became doom. Not quite what I wanted. And then LimeWire came about. Do you remember LimeWire? And I did the same, got another copy. I must have got the first copy and the second copy from the same guy, I don't know. But again, it was washed out, it was muddy, very quiet. But I found that the vocals were lost in the mix. So they'd done a good job, but not what I wanted. So I've looked and looked and looked, just if and when, all over. Can't get it. And what they did, unbeknown to me, in 2017, they released a few copies onto CD. Totally unaware. I was travelling at the time, and I was busy doing other things. I didn't really spend a lot of time. I mean, I'm on the computer now all the time. I didn't spend a lot of time on my laptop at all, really. Other than perhaps uploading videos and stuff like that. I was mostly either doing my art, reading, bimbling, that sort of thing, meeting up with people, travelling. It was great. It was something that I'd always recommend to everybody. So I missed it. I completely missed that. And I wasn't aware until maybe a couple of years ago, about 2000, well, I was in Brick, so it would have been about 19 or 20 even when I moved here. I think the lockdown, actually, I think it was 2020. I was just having a look again, the Opposition, Intimacy. I get fed up of typing it. I think my computer just does it automatically. And sure enough, I found out there was some copies released in 2017. And I thought, well, I never knew that. Anyway, so I did more of a search. All sold, all disappeared, obviously. So I went on to some music forums that I use sometimes, and they said you will never get a copy. And there's people said, I've been nearly 40 years of searching, I've never got a copy yet, come nowhere even close. So I never resigned myself to not getting a copy, never. I always thought, well, one day if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So anyway, what was I saying? Opposition did about 8 or 9 albums, including Intimacy, halfway through. Wonderful, wonderful album, and they did some great albums after. The last album they ever did was called Hope, and I heard a couple of tracks off it. I can't remember where I heard them now, but I thought, my God, that sounds like the Opposition. They're not still going. So of course did my research, and there you go, a brand new album. Again, hard to get, and my lovely friend, beautiful friend Lisa, got it for me off of Amazon, and I play that regular. I love it. Then doing a little bit more research onto Hope, the album, and a few other things, I found out that because the Opposition, really, there were two people, Marcus Bell and Mark Long. I found out that Marcus Bell sadly died of cancer in 2014, and then Mark Long died 2 years ago, 2022, of cancer. So they both died of cancer. Such a shame. And I love them. I love them. They've done something to my life. They've injected something. That band, those people, those tracks, that album has injected something into me. Don't know what, but anyway, so I will miss them forever. That's the truth. And I miss the band now. I think they still had more to give always. But I still wanted intimacy. What a lovely tribute, and what a lovely ending that would be if I ever got intimacy. So cut a long story short, I lost my mind. Cut a long story short, Discogs came about, didn't it? After looking for this album, there's things come and go that you would never remember. So Discogs came about. Now Discogs is it's a place that you can go to. It's a bit like eBay, maybe a bit classier than eBay. You have to watch the postage though if you ever go on there. Discogs. Discography, think about discography, it's Discogs. Now that was started by, I can't remember who, but somebody in a band, and he left the band and started Discogs, and he's made millions out of it. But I go on there and I do a search every now and then for something or other, and 2 nights ago I just, same as normal, I'm typing the Opposition Intimacy, bang, there it is on CD for a reasonable amount. I thought, it can't be. Anyway, I was sort of saying to myself, please be new. If you're new, I'll buy you. If you're new, I didn't want an old ropey second-hand copy from 1983. Didn't want that, it could have went to 10 owners and been misused and what have you. So anyway, I had a look, and it's brand new, sealed, factory sealed, brand new. Now, I'm also hoping that it's the 2017 remaster. I have heard both, and really you can't tell the difference, not really, but just to have a remaster, it just opens the music just slightly. There's just something in my ears that is just more accessible, more open. I don't know how to word it. Anyway, a reasonable price, and bang, I thought I'd buy that. Now, the sellers on there can have all sorts of demands, really. They can do whatever they want, but you pay by PayPal, so that's no problem. So I went to pay and I couldn't pay. I thought, here we bloody go. Anyway, the seller sells, what did he say? I can't remember what he said anyway. So it's all in euro, the money in euros, but it must be a minimum that you spend. That's it. Minimum spend is so many euros, like 45 euros or whatever, which is about, I think, 40 quid. If you're only listening to this, there was a quiet pause there, I told you. Well, you know, don't you? So, excuse my voice now. So yeah, minimum sales are 40 odd quid. I thought, oh bugger. So that I put that in my cart, so that was saved. And I thought I'd quickly go to his thing, just see if there's anything else that I want in particular. And I came across M83, which is a band, they're kind of ambient, acoustic, weird, strange. M83. Anyway, I thought, sod it, so I got that album, went over and checked, and it still wasn't enough, so I had another look, and I ended up getting Psycho Candy by the Jesus and Mary chain. It's not my favourite album of theirs, but it has got a couple of good tracks. I probably won't play it very often, and it cost me like £4 or whatever it was just to make up the extra. So it doesn't matter, even if you put it in the bin at £4, it doesn't matter. But the main thing is, I'm getting Intimacy by The Opposition. I can't believe it. I haven't got it yet, obviously, this is 2 days. And the guy messaged me back, and he said, thank you for your order. I will pack and wrap tomorrow and then post over the next few days. Just busy at work and what have you. So I said, thank you very much. As I say, he's from France. I got a message this morning to say your parcel will be on the way in the next couple of days. Just letting you know. And so I said, okay, thank you very much. Don't want to put pressure on him or anything. I'm desperate for it. But, people are busy in their lives, and it'll be here when it's here. And I've waited 30 odd years. I can wait, a couple of days. So basically, in a few days, I'm going to have my copy, a brand new copy of The Opposition's Intimacy. And I'm absolutely thrilled skinny, I told you. I am beside myself, that's the truth. I'm actually preventing myself from doing cartwheels. I really am. No, it's not going to be a case of I get it and play it and think, oh, it's not as good as I remember. Do you know, I've played this album over the years. I had it on tape. Only somebody just recorded a crappy old version on tape, and I played it and played it and played it. And then I heard it on the web on a couple of different sites. You could play certain tracks, so I played them. And then YouTube came about. And all this stuff, it was like before bloody YouTube. But anyway, you can play the whole album on YouTube, so that's fantastic. My lovely friend Maureen, as I say, she did me a copy, so that's been fantastic. So I've played it over and over and over, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, to a lot of people, you're thinking, shut your gob, it's a bit of bloody music, It can be more than that, can't it? Same as a book. How would you tell somebody who's really religious, it's just the Bible? It's only a book. Or whatever. It's more than just music to me. These 5 or 6 albums mean the world to me. So it's not just music, it is my life, it is the world. And you see, where is it? Music is life, it says down there. Music is life. The Opposition, Intimacy. So I'll end this now, but I'll come back in a second and show you when it's here. Cheers. Hello. Now, if I can just explain, my dancing at the very beginning, if you're thinking, that's never going to catch on, Bri, never. Don't forget, we had a slightly rotund break dancer in the Olympics from Australia. So, I think there will be a thing called Bri dancing in the next Olympics. That's what I think. We'll wait and see on that one. Anyway, I said I would be back, and here we are, back. Just having a quick swig of my Slurpee. Cheers. So, a happy Bri after 30 years. Oh, yes, the postman's been all the way from France. So, Finally. I can't believe that I've got this. Let me, oh dear, I never get organised. One thing I'll never be accused of is being a professional YouTuber. Lots of people have bells and whistles and do editing and do things, and Bri just does Bri. So the opposition, intimacy. Let's open it carefully. Thank you for joining me. We're all together having a look at this. There we go. So I never ever thought that I would get a brand new copy, a brand new CD Oh wow. Now I do have a magnifying glass, it's not here, but I have a magnifying glass because these days, as we get a bit older, we can't see nothing that tells you nothing. But how the bloody hell can you read any of this? I can't. I am so happy. I'm relieved to get it. It's only been a few days. I got it from Discogs, and you can leave messages on there to the seller. And I said, after I bought it, I waited for him to say that it's either posted or it's wrapped up and it's all there and it's all ready to go. Anyway, he didn't post it, but he said it's all wrapped up. As soon as I get to the post office in the next day or two, I will post it. So I sent him a message and I said, this means the world to me. I've been looking for the CD for quite a while. I didn't say 30 odd years. I said I've been looking for the CD for quite a while, and it really means the world to me. And he said, well, it's wrapped and packed well, and hopefully you'll get it within 4 to 5 days, but it can take up to 12 days from bloody France. Do you know what? You can put 50 odd people in a dinghy and they can get over here in a couple of hours. Anyway, they could have brought this with them. Oh shit, I never thought. I should have said, you know, I popped down the bloody beach. So I said it means the world to me. Anyway, what a lovely guy. A Frenchman called something or other. Yeah. Brand new, absolutely, mint condition, perfect. Well, you can see the world. That's what I see when I look out the window. So this CD will be played to death. Now, it won't stop me really looking for another copy, especially another brand new copy. It'll slow things down, but if I get another copy, then I can just put that by in case I ever wear this one out or whatever. And as long as it's a reasonable price, then go for it. So this is the remake, the remaster rather. Okay, so this is the 2017 version that I mentioned. Yeah. It says just on the bottom there, can you see that? There's the date. Okay, it's a 2017. And there it is. So the original came out in 80. I think I said 83. It says 82 there. I think I didn't hear it until 83. So the track's on here. Not that you're bloody interested, but the voice has changed. My voice has changed. A Day in the Future. Aching Arms. I Became a New Man. In the Heart. That's my favourite. Life's Blood. Second favourite. Sand and Glue. My Room is White. New Homes, and Big Room, Small View. Absolutely wonderful. They're all written by Mark Long, stroke the opposition. Yeah, every single track. Such a unique album this is, in my view. You know, if you get yourself on YouTube or whatever, you have a listen, you might think, oh, what a load of old crap, you know, and that's absolutely fine. That is the beauty of music, isn't it? So yeah, I messaged this guy and I said, look, this means the world to me. Really, really thrilled. And he said it's well packed and what have you. But because he said it can take up to 12 days, I thought, oh no, let's hope I get it soon. We've got a bank holiday coming on Monday, which is the 26th. Yeah, 26th. So it could take even longer. And I was hoping perhaps that I'd get it on the Saturday, which this is currently as I'm recording this, because it means I've got the weekend really to play it, and the bank holiday to play it, and forevermore to play it. But I haven't got to keep waiting on no post on the Monday, for instance, you know. But yeah, so I said, it means the world to me. He said, it's well packed, it's on its way, it can take up to 12 days, and here we are, what, 4 days? Yeah, something like that. 4 or 5 days it's taken, and that's from buying it to just showing you now. So really, really thrilled. After 30 odd years, I feel quite emotional in a way. Quite, I don't know how I feel. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I really am. I need to sit down and play this. I was thinking last night. It's quite sad, really, but I was thinking. I was laid in bed and I thought, where will I listen to it first? Well, actually, I'm going to listen to it in here. Just really pay attention to it. Bring me magnifying glass in, have a look at the lyrics, see what I've been singing wrong for 30 odd years. I'm going to listen to it under headphones. I was thinking that as well the other night. I got some nice headphones that are hanging up kind of over there. But I got some little headphones that I actually prefer because they just sound richer, warmer, slightly more bassy, but there's a warmth to it, you know. And I think it's because they go in ear, you know, so you've got all the music in there. The other ones, the music is lovely because the music surrounds the ear, you know, but I like them both. I will listen to this under both, whether they be in ear or on ear. So, that's it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And like I say, it means nothing to you whatsoever, this album. And if you listen to the music, you probably think, I don't know what he's banging on about. It's very average, or it's rubbish, or whatever you think. That's fine. That's what you're supposed to think, isn't it? It's all unique. Everything's unique to each individual person. For me, I've been looking for this for 30 odd years. So you can imagine yourself looking for a book or a CD or something, you know, whatever, and finally it's there, you know. That's how you then feel, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to finish my Slurpee, then take my first ever listen to my first ever Opposition intimacy CD. I've got several other Opposition CDs. I never thought I would ever get a copy. Never. I always held out hope, though. I never just turned away from it. You know, I was saying, I think I was saying in part one that I've been on forums and this guy has said, you know, you'll never get a copy, because I asked about a copy, and he said, you'll never get a copy. I've been looking for 40 odd years, kind of given up. And I thought, well, I'll never give up. Why would I give up? You know, I mean, if I don't ever get a copy, then that's fine. But imagine if one day I did. That's what I used to think. Imagine how might I feel. Well, that is how I'm feeling. So the opposition, intimacy. I am thrilled. Thank you for watching. And if you can dance, I hope I've taught you how to dance. Enjoy. Be well.